Hey everybody, clearing. Wipe all that away. Okay, let's get into divine masculines. How does it feel on the journey for the masculines at this time? What can we see? Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel with only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What can we see for the DMs at this time? How are they faring on the journey? What is going on in their minds? What are the emotions? What are the things that are coming up for them? What's the growth that they are experiencing? How are they viewing it? All those things. And then what is the most relevant takeaway for each of those awarenesses for my Divine Feminine collective here? One more deck. And for the feminines, what can we see? Oh, something on the floor. What's that all about? We got Knight of Swords. So take a look in the mirror right now. This is like, you can see both sides of it at this time. There's something in the energy where there's a little bit more empathy available for feminines to see their part of the energy, not so much focused on the masculine polarity or your masculine, but more taking a look at what would that infer or imply if you're observing something with your masculine. What is your side of the energy? What does that mean? Like being proactive with understanding why that's happening for you in your version of reality. Okay, so for the masculines, how are they doing with the connection in general? Oh, they're wanting reunion. They definitely want it to come in closer together again. That can be, I just heard FaceTime. Physically being together, they really do want to close the gap. What is the lesson, the healing that's happening? Four of Swords, Lord of Rest from strife. So they just want to catch a break. They don't want to be strenuous, I just heard. It's strenuous being apart. So they're trying to really look at what has caused resistance in the connection. What's the emotion that they're processing? Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So they're beating themselves up for the things that they have done in the connection that's caused strife and created distance here. They know they're not perfect, and they're really working on being accountable for those ways that they have accidentally come across as though they were using the feminine, is what I just heard. There's something about the masculines not wanting to use the feminines in any shape or form, but wanting to match, to be equal, to be a contributor, to be a provider, a protector, and not take from the feminines. I think what I can feel in the energy is they are trying to discern what that feedback loop, the healthy interdependence is, and not the imbalances of the past. What are the feminines meant to know about this? Keep doing the inner work so you know what you're worth, feminines, so you know what your masculine is talking about here. You don't have to have a conversation with your masculine to go into the energy and really look at where you have allowed your masculine to take liberties in your connection, where you have not had the treatment that you now know you are worthy of. You can say, if your masculine says, it's shameful how I've conducted myself, you can be in a lighthearted thing and you can say something like, heck yeah, it has been. I know I'm worth da-da-da. That vibrancy is so much greater than the wallowing victim blame. It's like, yes, we're finally there. Now we can both be in a better feeling arrangement here with more care, more genuine energy. We don't have to settle for breadcrumbs, feminines. We can know that we are worthy of being loved fully. What are the masculines? How are they doing with their particular thoughts on their particular feminine? Two of Cups, K-I-S-S-I-N-G. So that's what I heard. So masculines really want to kiss their feminine. They want to come together and be in harmony. They want to acknowledge the love. They're cheersing here. They want to acknowledge their feminine for being that one that sees them. Look, they're looking in each other's eyes here and saying like, yeah, you, what is the processing, the lesson, the moon? So in the inverse like this, the moon is these deep, deep baseline layers, the subconscious, the drivers. And so the masculines are really starting to see the journey, the lessons from the base level, from the bottom of it, from the depths of it. And even if some of the things were challenges to egos at certain developmental stages, they're seeing what really matters under it all right now. And you are the one that has been able to stride for stride with them, meet them in that. And they want to acknowledge the divine feminine as that person who has the growth rate that's compatible and intimate and relevant here. What is the emotion connected? Peace. I'm a being of love and I release all negative energy. When the masculines get down into the bedrock of the lessons and what has happened here, there's a deep sense of peace and safety and trust and love that comes in, an acknowledgement. There is no one who has been able to go through good and bad, thick and thin, sickness and in health with the masculine like their divine feminine, because it's an energetic match, because the two are equally compatible, and all the lessons that each of you have had to navigate through the roller coaster ride of this connection have been equal and opposite, compatible, tandem. You've needed each other to see those aspects in safety and trust and love all the way along. So these connections that I'm channeling are so high frequency that there has not ever really been a blame or victim. There has always been a way of looking at it for grateful purposes, grateful that the things are playing out the way they are, grateful that it's the two of you that are playing these things out, grateful that this is the one person that you would handle yourself and show up in this exquisite way time after time with, because there's no blow to ego. Ultimately, it's this affinity that you have. It's a supportive feeling, even through thick and thin. There's a productivity here. There's a relevance to the lessons that aligned counterparts navigate in the negotiation phase of a relationship, where we're learning the character of each other, where we're learning the integrity, we're seeing each other rise to our best versions as a result of each other. It's being experienced in real time, the healing, the showing up differently than we would with anyone else, allowing someone to show up differently for us. There's a deep sense of peace that the masculines have about you, specifically feminines. What do the feminines need to know about that? This is what it's all about. The Ace of Wands. This is the hotbed of the true inspiration here. This soul level navigation that the counterparts share is, I heard the raison d'etre. I don't know my French pronunciation, but hopefully I didn't demolish that. This is the reason for being. This is the reason these connections are so magnetic to each other, is because it's essential for the particular growth that each is experiencing to have exactly this counterpart on the other side of that dynamic. So beautiful. So the masculines are aware of this, and it gives them a deep sense of gratitude and peace and acknowledgement that you, feminines, are the one that meets them in that affinity. What are the masculines thinking or feeling on the heart space? The heart for this connection, High Priestess. The knowing. This is my card of be still and know. This is a peace that passes understanding. This is a peace that permeates the fabric of the existence of this connection, the cellular structure of the masculines. They are feeling this ride or die energy as a given, not taken for granted, but a deep blessing. Mercy, humility, compassion. They see that the two of you afford each other grace. Really, truly, their safe space. And they see how they have given you solace. They see how you have provided them solace. There is trust and admiration. My favorite person on earth, I just heard. What can we see for the lessons coming through? Three of Pentacles in the inverse, Lord of material work. So they see that this connection is justified beyond the good on paper, beyond the obvious, beyond what the world sees. The inner workings of this is unconditional love. And they're beginning to see what that really is in action, in deed, in time-tested and true ways here. What is the emotion? Guilt. I release all beliefs that no longer assist my soul's growth. So they're seeing that they don't have to play games here. They don't have to be skeptical. They don't have to test. They don't have to be concerned, paranoid with you, feminine. They see that they make efforts to put you at ease that way too. They're growing into now letting down that guard, affirming to each other. They're putting down the guilt that they weren't there sooner. They're seeing this is, the trust that has been genuinely built between the two of you. What do the feminines need to know here? Five of Wands. Continue while your masculine is in this becoming phase to set your healthy standards in your life at large. Do not engage with things that are less than what you know you deserve. This is a lot of people, places, things being involved. So this means continue fine-tuning what you engage with on a more personal, immediate, up close and front row kind of energy. You be discerning, feminine, so that you set that standard. I'm hearing if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it might be a duck. So don't associate with things that you know are not serving, any beliefs that no longer assist in your soul's growth. Be okay with having outgrown unrighteousness. And do not put yourself into scenarios anymore that are not honoring of who you are and who you have become. That is one of the greatest preparations, and that's not snobby. That is not inappropriate. You can still love unconditionally, love at a distance, love in balanced ways. You don't have to enmesh. You don't have to ego identify with things. You don't have to say yes when you mean no. You don't have to say no when you mean yes. So this is healthy boundaries and ownership of your own energy, feminines, in preparation for this love. When you set that true crystal tone, your union has nothing left to do but come in. What can we see for the heart space? How are these masculines perceiving or doing with the heart space and their feminine? They are willing to step out of their comfort zone. I heard risk it all to step into this grand adventure together. The two shall become one, I just heard. So these masculines are at that bedrock that is allowing them the peace to know that the risk, the perceived risk in the past is no longer risky. It's now more risky to stay away. What is the lesson they're learning? Nine of Pentacles, Lord of material gain. That relationships are not for material gain, that it all abundance comes naturally when two people are in alignment, when there is a pure alignment. And so they see this history with the two of you. They see this way that you've been learning how each other rolls. And they're seeing this great affinity, like-mindedness, soul resonance. They're seeing this compatibility on every single level. And they now know what power couple dynamic is, what the potentials, the possibilities that the two of you actually have available to you. It's not a theory. They see how you are both master manifestors, how you both mean what you say and you follow through, how you're both seeking growth, how you both have abundance coming through, solving your karma, leveling up, getting out of debt. I just heard getting out of sticky situations, contracts, and freeing yourselves. They see that it's far deeper than material gain. And in the past, they may have been too preoccupied with the surface assessment of what success was. They're now seeing, thanks to this journey, the inner workings of what true success and abundance, what that stems from, where that originates from. And in this new energy, how abundant that can be when those intentions and motives are aligned with that purity. They see that same sense of goodness, righteousness, purity in both of you. What is the emotion that they're seeing here? Adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So they really have begun to get out of their own way with the challenges, the syncopation in these connections where it has not aligned but still has benefited, all of the times that things haven't come together or the timing hasn't been right or you couldn't be on the same page in whatever way. They see how that perfectly imperfect occurrence pattern has been exactly what the doctor ordered for these lessons, for this awareness that the two of you are in it together on such a deep level. What do the feminines need to know about that? 10 of Cups, you're allowed to also affirm the life-changing effect these connections have had on you, and in the way that you process your emotions, the way you receive blessing, the way you allow what you're being shown in these connections to be embodied. What is the manifestation the masculines are looking at and experiencing? The sun. They are here for the revelation. With the sun in the inverse, it's like so many things have caught their attention. Glimmers, sparkles, twinkles. I'm just remembering my little girl saw twinkles on the snow and said, "Do you know what those are called, Mom?" And I said, "What?" And she said, "Miracles." It's like those little miracles. The masculines don't want to look up onto the horizon too far. They are enjoying the little twinkles along the way. They are so fulfilled by the way this is magically unfolding that they just want to be here for the process, the revelation, the enjoyment of the becoming. There's no rush. There's no rush. They know this is life affirming, what it's about. They want to stop and smell the flowers along the way here. What is the lesson? Yeah, the Magician. These two cards came out in my super quickie read that I've just uploaded. Very relevant message. So they don't want to jinx it. They don't want to interfere in the science experiment. They just want to keep witnessing what is. And they've learned to do that. They've learned to not take it personally, to not be upset, to not get stressed, to not be in a panic, to not feel fear in these connections. They're seeing that love conquers all fear. What is the emotion associated with this? Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being, right? So they're now seeing their reality accurately through the lens of being blessed, receiving miracles, seeing the benefit, the blessing in disguise. And they now know that there's no blame for these out of alignment things that didn't fall through, or that fell through when their ego thought they needed to have certain things occur, when they were in a rush to, or be insatiable to possess or have or control or cling to anything that had frustration. They're letting go of all of that and now enjoying, getting to witness. And they're accepting the responsibility for their well-being here, because they know that when they are ahead of themselves or I'm hearing the word greedy for anything, insatiable, that they're not at peace. They're not in the safety. And this is the kind of masculine generosity that they're embodying so that they can be a provider of that same safety into the connection, where they can say to their feminine, it's okay, we've got this. And they sink into the stability that allows them to be that energetic rock of faith, of trust, of surety. Very, very nice. And clear-minded also. Instead of feeling victim to circumstance, they're now seeing how their unique perspective, their alignment, their interpretation, their free will interpretation of what's going on promotes their well-being or not. It's their way of perceiving that causes them to be in balance or out of balance. And so now they're having fun with interpreting the things that are coming to them and happening in this connection through that lens, where they are assuming it's benevolent, that it's creating well-being. What do the feminines need to know about this? Free your own mind that way. Start looking at it this way. Take a hint from your masculine here and really begin to be grateful for everything that has played out exactly the way that it has. What is the action the masculines are taking right now? Surrender. They, again, another deep, deep act of allowance here. What is the lesson? Six of Swords in the inverse. So Lord of earned success. They know that surrendering, radical surrender and acceptance of what is the doorway that makes peace, befriends what is, so it can be workable. What is the emotion connected? Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Exactly. Radical acceptance. Maybe it's bad, maybe it's good, but it is what it is. And so how do we work with it? How do we make the most of it without blaming, without rejecting, without running? What can we see for the feminines here? King of Swords. This is your masculine coming into this infallible alignment, this standing on their laurels, being qualified to know what they're talking about, wise. This is the wisdom of the masculine mastery, the way to control the thoughts, the action, the speech. What is the biggest challenge for the masculines? Continuing to see that one true, surrendered, yet relevant, highest vantage point of anything happening. What is the lesson? Fortitude. This is the strength card. So continuing to humble when the hackles go up, when tempers start to rise, when frustration hits. This is the composure, and it's not control issues. Control issues happen when we run rampant with those suffering energies. This is composure. This is mastery. That is different than control. So I'm really getting here that the masculines are in the eye of the storm, in that weightlessness, where no matter what challenge arises, they're learning to drop in. What is the emotion? Love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. So in the most impossible, they're seeing the possible. What do the feminines need to know? But that is the challenge, continuing to do that as a way of life. This is where you can have equal give and take. So even for you feminines, where your masculine has not yet been able to offer you equality or exchange, you have to see the blessing in all of that. That helps promote the sovereignty, where the codependency doesn't get a chance to sink in, because your masculine does not owe you anything. They do not owe you to save you from yourself or your circumstances or your emotions or your mindset. You have the ability to unlock the proper way of looking at everything. And if it's not a matter of looking at it in some way, if it's circumstantial, you have the ability to get yourself out of those things, to keep yourself out of harm's way. Your masculine does not owe you these things, but your masculine is learning, like you are, to be a master in their own right with the things that do populate their reality. And so when two can each understand those things, there can be this camaraderie, exchange, this beautiful shifting and morphing priorities that feel like flow, that is in tandem, without a deficiency or keeping record of rights and wrongs. It's harmony. What is the solution to this ongoing discipline and challenge of composure? Just putting one foot in front of the other when opportunities arise. What is the lesson in this? The blasted tower, Lord of the hosts of the mighty. So the lesson is there is nothing too big or too small that cannot be approached this way. That we learn this with 911 type energies. We learn this with the subtleties. And so no matter what, come hell or high water, masculines, you've got what it takes. You are masters, and it doesn't matter. This is the alignment where the two of you can get through anything, and you will be of such benefit out into communities and family groups and into the world as healers, as contributors. This is the training. This is the Earth's school for this. What is the energy here, the emotion? I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. And so, laughter, I've said before, is where we have new pathways, neural pathways created where we have not connected those dots before, and we laugh. The laughter is the sound of that new dot being connected in the brain, where we see something for the first time in a new way. And so seeing how easily we can levitate or walk on water, so to speak, with any of the challenges, I laugh in the face of my enemies. That's what I just heard. So yes, masculines, heck yeah, laugh in the face of your enemies, or haha. What do the feminines need to know about this? This is moving it forward, feminines. We are really getting to the fun part together. Two people in the right alignment, having a heck of fun time in life. What can we see for the direction in the near future? Okay, Four of Swords. This is resting. Masculines have been incessantly learning these lessons rapidly, gladiator mode, catching up with the feminines here. And it may be some downtime, some R&R, a little bit more chill, a little bit time off work, possibly. I'm feeling that there is a potential for many couples to be meeting up with extracurricular activities, trips, getaways, or even just taking some time and doing nothing. Or you may just hear about your counterpart in that, or you, viewer, might be taking a little bit of downtime. Enjoy it. Don't let your mind be filled with strife. What is the lesson here? Lord of Swiftness, Eight of Wands. So there is an energetic exchange, whether that's going to happen at a distance or in person. There seems to be a free flow of energy between the two that the energy is ready to align. So it feels a bit like divinely guided alignment here, whether that's at a distance or physically together. It seems like there's going to be a free-flowing conduit of energy between the two that hasn't necessarily been so fluid in the past. There's a deep acceptance, and we get friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. So time with friends, time with each other as friends, time befriending each other on a deeper level in the energetic exchange. There's something like that here coming into the future. What the feminines need to know, the Empress. This is how life is supposed to be lived. This is how it's supposed to feel. This chill, peaceful, balanced exchange. This is the seat of all empowerment. Okay, I'm being asked to do another Beyond Lemuria card. And final card, Starseer. This is a 46 card. This says, listen to your intuition, trust the holistic journey. Yeah, exactly. This overview that we're seeing in today's reading, and the deep peace, the big picture here. Dreams finding their way into being, the bigger picture, a more aligned outcome than expected, clarity of the greater path. Okay, so the right perspective is coming in here, what it's all for, how it's all played out, how it feels when it's in alignment. These are grand awarenesses, integrating in the connections right now. All right, many blessings. Bye for now.